Okay. So I just did my opening, raised the bed up. I know you can't see me, I'm down here. Hello. But I want y'all to be able to see what's going on, okay? So I'm here, I had to wash my hands, got all my supplies, raised the head of her bed up. And so now I've already gone and got her water. She's already checked it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, put my gloves on. Gloves are a little bit big, okay? Put my gloves on, and then I'm gonna say to Miss Sally, okay, Miss Sally, the very first thing that we have to do is put a pad underneath you. So I'm gonna scoot you towards me, okay? I'm gonna scoot you towards me so that I can put your pad on. Now, when y'all are putting a pad on, you can literally roll the pad up, okay? And take the pad, put it over this way so that I scooch Miss Sally towards me. And then on 3, Miss Sally, we're gonna turn over. 1, 2, 3. And I turn her over and I put the pad, so you can see it hanging out right here. And I put the pad underneath her and I kind of tuck it in there, okay? Tuck, tuck, tuck. All right. Okay, Mrs. Sally, you're gonna come back. You're gonna feel a bump, okay? And then you're gonna come towards me. All right, so then I get Mrs. Sally and I say, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna roll over, okay? And then I'm going to get it down out of the way and open up the pad, okay? Then I'm gonna lay her back down. All right, let me fix her head. All right. Okay, Mrs. Sally, let's make sure, get your sheets all from out underneath your feet. Let's go ahead and check your catheter and make sure that it's not laying underneath your foot, which it is. So we just moved it, okay? And then we're gonna pull your gown up to just with what we wanna be working with, right? We don't need all of this. You just wanna expose exactly what it is that you're working with, all right? So this is catheter care. So I'm gonna get water over here, right? Soap, lather it up. And the very first wipes I'm gonna do is labia, okay? Then I'm gonna put that in my soiled linen cart. And then the next one, soap, lather it up. And then I'm going to hold on to her tube, right? It's very important that you hold on to it. And then I'm gonna wipe all the way down. And I say wipe all the way down to the hub right here. So then you know it's more than 4 inches, right? You wipe all the way down, okay? Turn it, turn your wrist, and wipe like the top and the bottom. So when the first wipe, you're kind of wiping the sides. The second wipe, you're kind of wiping the top and the bottom, okay? With the rag, of course. Okay, throw that away. Then you do 1, 2, 3. You do the exact same things with just water. Then labia, water, tube, oops, sorry, tube, and then to dry. Dry, you literally go pat, 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 pat all the way down, and then hold on to her tube and pat, 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 encapsulating the whole tube all the way down. You don't want to be stretching on the tube, okay? No stretchy. And no doing it like this without that would hurt, right? So you want to be sure, you've got a good firm grip on it on this end, okay, while you're drying it and cleaning it, okay? And then that goes in the deal. And then I'm going to put her gown and her sheet back up. And then I'm gonna say, okay, Mrs. Sally, we're all done. I'm going to have you come closer to me. And then I'm gonna turn you over, right, without exposing too much. I'm gonna turn you over and I'm gonna roll this pad up and tuck it underneath you without getting your gown all caught up in it. That's another issue that you might have. Okay, all right, Miss Sally. Okay, if you'll come this way to me, 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we'll just take the pad out, rolling it away from us, folding it, and then put it into the dirty container. And then we'll get Sally in the middle of the bed. Now, Sally, I'm just barely gonna cover you up because my gloves are dirty, and I'm gonna go take care of my supplies, okay? So then you would go dump, rinse, dry this out, okay? You'll come back, hang on. Dump, rinse, and dry. You come back to put this up, and you should have a paper towel to help you open the drawer, right? Because you have your dirty gloves on. And then you're gonna put your soap up where it goes, shut the drawer, you still got the paper towel in your hand, throw that away. All right, be sure and roll this away from you, okay? You're rolling it away from you into the dirty. Then I take my gloves off appropriately, right? Not touching anything. Okay, into the trash. And I washed my hands, and I'm gonna go put this card up, okay? And then I come back and I do my closing, and I'm probably also gonna check just one more time just to make sure this catheter is in good position, okay? Throughout that entire skill, I would probably say that a couple of times, right? Let me just check to make sure your catheter is not kinked or underneath your leg, or make sure it's, free flowing. And then you'll do your closing, lower the bed, and you know the whole closing. I'm gonna go through the closing. You got it. All right, that was Catheter Care. Thank you.